Okay, sometimes people think I'm shouting when it's just my normal voice, unfortunately, and so on and so on and so on. So you've got to be careful how you say things to people if you want impact and presence. So, tone of voice is first thing. Again, this is on a presentation skills course. You would talk about body language and tone of voice. You know, when you're an inflection in the voice, when you lower the voice, also the speed of voice. How quickly you're talking. Maybe you want to pause and let people think. Maybe you want to raise your voice to make a point. So just think about the tone of voice and the rhythm. Like I've said, speed it up, slow it down, depending on your audience. You know, if you've got a room full of high greens and blues, if you go at 1,000,000 miles an hour, then I'm not saying they couldn't follow you, because, you know, intelligently they probably could, but they wouldn't want to. They want time to reflect. Whereas a red, you know, they need the speech to be quite quicker because they just want information so they can go and take some action on it. So again, Margaret Thatcher was a great example of developing a way of talking. Yeah, absolutely. Pete, I don't know, you must have, if with that comment, you must have read her the book that she wrote. It's one of the first autobiographies I read, actually, Margaret Thatcher, regardless of what your political stance is, right? She was a woman in power early days and for a long time. And she was quite impactful, you know. People will remember, you know, this lady's not for turning. You know, just that phrase gives you impact. And she spent a lot of time on working out how to get across to other people. I have a dream. Martin Luther King. Everybody knows, well, to have a certain age, everybody knows I have a dream. Very few people know what the next line is of that speech. But they don't need to know what the next line is, because they knew within those words and the way he said it, he didn't say, right, everybody listen up because I've got a clearly defined goal. He didn't say that, did he? He went, I have a dream. And he used emotion and inflection and tone of voice and to come across. And people knew what he meant. Yeah, he opened his arms, the body language, all that type of stuff, right? Yes, it's presentation skills, I get that. But again, this is about how you say things if you want impact and presence, okay? The expressions that we use, yeah? You can say something and then wink. I mean, we try and do it with emojis, don't we, in text. It's just a nightmare. Sometimes you have a text and you're reading it and you think, you cheeky bloody, and at the end of it, there's a winky face. And you're like, oh, okay. Oh, they're being sarcastic. Oh, okay, I get it. Yeah, and so on and so on and so on. So again, just be careful of the emotion and what it is that you're trying to get across. And if you're worried about this sort of stuff, just learn about it. This stuff can be learnt. You know, read Thatcher, read Luther King, you know, read Barack Obama, read the best speakers, the Dalai Lama. You know, Desmond Tutu is one of the best speakers I have ever seen in my life. Okay, very quietly spoken man, but really used inflection and humour to make massive impact. You know, I was 20 yards away from him when he was speaking, and it was one of the best presentations I have ever seen in my life, but very quietly spoken man. Okay, very, very good. Palais was just as good as well, actually. See, Palais was in the same place I was in at the time, and Gordon Banks. Very, very good. Expression, welcome interaction. Okay, so welcome people's points of view. That also helps with performance currency. Okay, greens, no problem. Yellows, no problem. Blues, you need to ask for it. Reds, you need to ask for it. Okay, so welcome, because it will help with that impact. Oh, they're listening to me. Oh, they're interested in what I've got to say. Brilliant. Adapt the language, like we've said, depending on what you're talking to. When I say what, I mean potentially level of business. So if you're talking to senior leaders rather than brand new leaders, for argument's sake, team leaders, there might be a language change that's in there as well.